Here with my brother, and I was curious, man. How are you feeling? How are you feeling the 21st century dynamic between African Americans and Africa? You being from Egypt, your brother from Egypt,
Yeah.
and it's really a pleasure because my ancestry goes to the Olmec, the Amaru, the I don't know if you know about the Maroons in Jamaica. If you ever heard of the Maroons in Jamaica, I mean, they conquered everybody in Jamaica. European, the Maroons kind of held Jamaica down to the point where, everybody had to come get permission to do what they had to do from the Maroons. And even to this day, they're up in the mountains. But the Amaru people, the Olmec people, the Jamaican people, the indigenous American people who were millions of years before Mr. Clumsy or Columbus. I'm curious because there are so many Pan-African people right now who are saying, doctors, Dr. Umar Johnson, another brother, even John Hendrick Clark, they're saying that the 21st century for African Americans is intermeshed with Africa,
Yeah.
completely.
Actually, let's check it, from the beginning, from the start. Let's say, let the beginning from the start, what's happened? Why did they come? Why did they go there? How did they grab them there?
When you say them, we're talking about
the history.
The African American, or are we talking about the African?
There is nothing called African, from my point of view. There is nothing called African American or whatever. We all are human beings.
Yeah.
So there is, you are, your background is African because your father and your background is from Africa. I'm from, for example, from Egypt because but we don't know. Where is my background came from? For example, I don't know. I come from Adam, he come from Adam. Same thing.
Exactly.
Whatever.
We all come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is true. This is true.
But the point here, the way, they grab them there, at the beginning, what is the reason they grab them there? Actually, they need somebody to serve them. Serve them their, for their priority. For example, they need somebody to work for them. So, for example, if you get a white man from Europe, he's gonna be a little bit, very noisy for them. I think, very, very, he's not gonna listen to them.
Rebellious, so to speak.
Not to obey, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but in Africa, according to the circumstances which happen there, they're gonna obey them. They're gonna do whatever they want to do. So this is But guess what? The first African guy, he was a prince. He was a prince for his community.
For his village.
For his village, Kunta Kinte. So, this is
we're gonna go to Kunta Kinte.
Yeah, I went to the Kunta Kinte. Because So when we talk, the African, for example, now the president of the United States, he's originally from Kenya. Nobody gonna believe it.
Yeah, his dad is Kenyan, right?
But
Gikuyu
his mother also she's an American, Anglo-Saxon American, yeah. So whatever, Anyway, there is something now around the globe, so we don't know or we don't understand. This, what they gonna do for the African? Is there those African people in America, or those American African people, they have the same right like Americans? The same right, I don't mean the paper war. You know, like paper law, you know, like everybody has the same rights. Democracy, that's what we heard every day. You know? But really, they have the real. This is, I want to ask you, they have the real, you know, like,
do they really
priority
have
or the real rights?
Okay,
Like,
okay. Now, this is what even most Americans don't know of African origin. They were never given. First of all, the three most crazy dynamics in the transatlantic slave trade
okay,
from Africa into the Americas. Number one was the simple fact that these people were taken against their will.
yeah.
Firstly,
Okay.
sold as in human trafficking. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Secondly, this was a business venture by the European to increase riches.
Okay.
So we are the only group of people, our ancestors, who were stolen from a land, taken to a land where all world powers profited from the effort of a people enslaved for over 400 something years without pay. Okay? Okay. Thirdly, it's not the same slavery that was going on or indentured servitude that was going on in Africa and that we know amongst civilized people. You conquer land, those people that you conquer are considered to be your servants or your slaves, okay? But still, they're treated with respect. They're treated as human beings. They still have their language, their culture, their history.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are the three unique things about the transatlantic slave trade, or the peculiar institution, as they call it. Taken against their will, a people who were enslaved and made an entire planet filthy rich amongst Europeans, and completely dehumanized, stripped of their culture, their language, their history, systematically stripped, okay, in order to be dehumanized and become chattel to a country indefinitely. That's the answer. Indefinitely, America was never designed for the African American, even though he built it.
Yeah.
Okay, he built it, he designed it, his patents, everything. Most of the stuff that you look at around it that's very popular, most people don't even know were created and invented by African Americans. Or by an African people who were robbed from their land and robbed of their history and their culture and put in the Americas. So
the same thing happened, I think, in Australia and like in New
Aborigines.
Zealand.
Yeah,
like it's the same thing, I think, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This seems to be a systematic method by which the only difference is that the Australians openly apologize to the Aborigines.
So what I gotta do?
Openly established.
What I gotta do with the apologize?
Really, openly apologize and admitted they're wrong.
So what I gotta do with the apologize?
Well, the fact that they openly apologized and admitted that they were wrong in taking their land from them and making them indentured servants,
So they
is a start.
Okay.
Is a start. Okay, the arrogance of the European, even to date. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, only God Almighty is going to have to bring him to his knee. Simply because, if you notice, my brother, every people who profited from the transatlantic slave trade, their economies are now collapsing.
Yeah.
Okay?
Because the basic was wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The foundation was built all wrong.
Wrong.
And they will not give justice to the people who created those riches.
There is no roots for this money. Clean roots.
Well, there's no clean root, and there's no bottom to it, and it came from the sweat of the backs of ancestors of a people who are still being dehumanized. who are still being dehumanized to this day. Whether they're aware of it or not, you know, is a whole other thing. But to this day, they're still being dehumanized. So little by little, we're learning through the internet. The internet's a great thing. We get to learn so much.
We learned a lot of things, yeah, but there is also one question I want to ask you about, you know. You know, like we said right now, you know, you said like African Americans. So what about the Native Americans, you know?
The Native Americans, believe it or not, the Amaru and the Olmec, you know, Abu Bakari, okay, out of West Africa, Mali. Abu Bakari, the research of Dr. I forget his name, it'll come to me. They came before Columbus. He wrote the book They Came Before Columbus. I don't know why I can't remember his name right off. It'll come to me when I'm not thinking of it, but I read the book. And the fact that, you know, the Africans and the original and the indigenous Indian or indigenous people of the Americas, you know, that stem from, believe it or not, all the way from India,
yeah,
down in through Alaska,
yeah,
into the Americas.
okay,
Okay, that ultimately became cohabitants with the people that Abu Bakari sent to find.
yeah,
Thousands of years before great-great-grandmama's, Columbus's great-great-grandmama was born. Thousands of years. You know, Abu Bakari went there, and when they asked Mansa Musa, where did he go? He never came back. He stayed there.
You know, like I'm sorry to to interrupt you, but I want to tell you something. You know, like because I don't want to forget it. Like Monsieur Columbus, whatever the name him is, you know, like whatever, clumsy. You know, he's not the first one who you know like discovered this land. You know, like there's a lot of people you know that've been there. You know, and the Maya, you know, they've been, you know, like they found. I heard like they found like pharaonic, you know, like boats over there. You know, like from 3,000-4,000 years ago. And
from Egypt.
Yeah, of
from
course.
Papyrus boats
yeah,
with wait a minute,
yeah.
with rubber.
Yeah.
You know, as a matter of fact, the Olmecs, when the African came into the Americas, he would leave a rubber plant.
Okay.
As a gift.
Yeah.
Simply because once you get that sap from that rubber,
yeah,
and you rub it on the bottom of some wood,
yeah.
now you floatable.
Yeah, okay.
You can come visit me.
Okay.
All the way across the Atlantic. All you got to do is hit that route.
Okay.
That route where the tides will just take you straight into West Africa. Okay.
What are we gonna do about
yeah, and that's you follow the tides. You know,
yeah,
you just gotta stay floating.
You know, like I've heard from a friend of mine that the Native American they have like, you know, just a part of land over there. And they have
what's called reservations.
Yeah, and they have rights and everything. I think sometimes better than American themselves. You know, like the European American or the Black American. You know, like whatever. They have more opportunities because it's like kind of a compensation to them. You know, like for what's happened to them. You know.
We are conscious of this. This is why in the Nation of Islam, which I bring up the Nation of Islam because it was the only thing that addressed quite a few things after Marcus Garvey was tricked. You know, Marcus Garvey, the Jamaican who was a Pan-Africanist, after he was tricked, who was the only person that put it in perspective after Frederick Douglass, who was a scholar who was trying to find the answer to the answers for a people in a land without a history or culture. So these people were scholars now, you understand, but trying to address the quote-unquote American Negro problem.
Yeah.
Okay. At the same time, my point is, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad always suggested and pointed us in the direction of the American Indian, because we were always one family. We were one family before the European decided to put ships together and follow our lead into the Amaru and into the Americas. Okay?
Yeah, according to the history, it's right. You know, like because I'm born Muslim, so I'm gonna tell you in Quran they said we did, you know, God, you know, like has, you know, like a wise thing that make people from every nations, many nations. Why they do this? He did this.
That they might know one another.
Yeah, because to know everybody, to know, like, because if we are from the same country, so we meet each other every day, so we are not gonna make any, you know, like any advantage from anything, you know. But if we are from different nations, I gotta learn your language, you're gonna learn my own language. So one day we're gonna meet.
And this is a beautiful thing.
This is a beautiful thing.
Yes, but you need to understand there are a people.
But the problem, I think, it's like, you know, like it's like ego.
Well, not just ego,
Arrogance.
but let me put it this way: it's not just ego; it's fear.
Yeah.
One professor made clear to us that the European and the Caucasian were two totally different things. Okay, and when you have a people who fear extinction, because there are only a very small percentage of them on the planet, and the majority of the people are people of skin tone, hue.
Yeah.
As in hue, man. Hue is color. Hue, man. Hue means color, man.
Okay.
Or the man of color. Even though some people may call the European the Caucasoid a colored man. Okay, but, you know, all of that's semantics, whatever, tomato. My point is this. You have a dominant gene, you have a recessive gene.
Okay.
In biology, you are taught who is the recessive gene and who is the dominant gene.
Okay.
We know who the dominant gene is. We know who the recessive gene is.
Okay.
We don't have to go into detail, but when you have a recessive gene that's receding, that's destined to extinction.
Yeah.
When you destined to extinguish, then you're trying to get in where you fit in amongst the people who are open to you and don't mind opening their arms to you, but you've been trained in trick knowledge.
Okay.
You've been trained to deceive.
Okay.
And this is a survival tactic. Okay, so when you're only 10% of the people on the earth, okay,
gotta control the whole world.
Then you got to control the narrative through the media.
Yeah.
You know, some people
just straight up what they want to say.
Well, they have the entire world thinking that they're the majority and everybody else is the minority. It's kind of like.
So what is?
It's kind of like the midget who trains the big pink elephant.
From your point of view, what is the solution for this?
The solution is very simple, brother.
It's
patient perseverance.
Yeah.
Continue to educate. The solution is information.
You said what?
Educate.
Continue.
Patient perseverance.
Education.
Education, and I don't mean education through a school system, through a white supremacist system that basically, look at it. If you go to the media, acronym, most evil devil in America. You should say in the world.
In the whole world.
MEDIA.
No, in the whole world.
Okay, yeah. Most evil devil in America. They have
mostly.
Yeah, they have people dyeing their hair blonde, putting blue contacts in their eyes. Oh my God! I mean, it's scary, brother. Actually, being anything other than themselves, because this grafted man who is master of tricknology, master of the secrets.
It's a devil.
The master of the secrets.
How to do the devil thing without feeling it.
Yeah.
It's like an injection. How to do without feeling it.
It goes right back to Musa alayhi salam, when his magicians threw their snakes down. Allah said, well, throw your rod down there. Not even Musa alayhi salam, I believe, knew what was going to happen. But he's following orders.
Yeah.
Bam, he threw it down. He was just as shocked as everybody else. You know, because the truth is going to swallow up
Yeah.
the BS.
Yeah.
Because you can't have BS without the truth.
Yeah. That's
Okay,
right.
you know, so all I'm saying is what's real, what isn't real. You have a grafted people, you have an ungrafted people, and according to Quran, we must all live together now.
Yeah.
According to Scripture, we must all live together. So according to all Scripture, Upanishads, the Quran, the Bible, the Injil, the Sabor, the Torah, you know,
Everywhere.
we must all live together.
And we are not gonna make any successful stuff without living together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think the whole planet, it's not for one of us. No, it's for all of us.
Yes. One race, human, and we're racing to the day of judgment.
Yeah.
It's very simple.
And also, we don't forget that we are not the only people that are living on the planet. There is also animals living with us. There is also, you know, like, you know, fish, whatever. We have to respect that they are not only belong. They are. We have also pigeons living,
Rabbi,
you know, like flying every day. You know.
When you hear the words, Lord of the worlds,
Huge. It's meaningful.
we're not even gonna get off the planet. Let's look at the worlds on the planet: the water world, the insect world, the
Yeah, you know, like so we have to.
animal world, the
You know,
plant
like-
world.
You know what? The problem also, you know, like from my
Experience.
opinion, you know, like we are selfish.
Mhm.
There is like a kind of egoistic, you know, like inside, you know, the human being. You know, everybody want to have to, you know, like for example, you know, like most of the new generation now, most of their mind, I want to be rich. He's jealous from the other person or from his friend. He wants to be rich, but it's not like this, Habibi. You know, like it's not. I want to be rich. No, you know, like you try. You know, but you know, like be rich, not to. You know, the problem is he wants to be rich not to survive. No, because he wants to be better than the other one.
Well, yes, this is
You
true.
know, like-
and for some peculiar reason, that technologies has created an idol in the minds of our youth, which is not even real. They call it money. Money is a great servant, but terrible master. Our youth believe if I have all the money, if I have more than enough money, I can be free and I can. Oh, there's certain freedoms, but you know, there's certain responsibilities that come with all of that money. And money is not necessarily the answer. You could be a total fool, filthy rich. I've met them.
Yeah.
I've been there. I've sat at the table and been invited into the homes of a Jewish billionaire who just said he liked my music and he liked me and please come stay with at my home while I go to New York and with my British nanny who takes care of my wife. But I'm taking my wife and you and her stay together and Boca Raton, that's where all your billionaires retire.
But you know the meaning,
My
the
point
meaning
is-
of life.
My point is,
yeah.
he was miserable.
Yeah.
He sat there at the breakfast table and told us, he said, man, do you have children? I said, yes, I do. He said, all my children. He said, you know, I love him. He said, but they're just waiting for me to die so they can rob me. His wife had Alzheimer's,
Yeah.
and she also had some type of mental disorder. But the home was small. It was an Olympic-sized pool, a 5 or 6, 7 TVs out there. He had everything materially
Yeah.
an individual could ever want. At the same time, he owned many diamond mines in Uganda. So his hobby was trying to cut diamonds.
Well, that's great.
So he
I love it.
would sit in a room and mess up cutting diamonds, and it would go into a big plastic jar of that he messed up. You know, these things. It was $100 million in diamonds, and it's just sitting there. They say, "Oh, this is my hobby room. You know, these are all diamonds." I said, "Real diamonds?" He said, yes.
In Uganda, I think they have, but some, not many. You know, like you're gonna find it in Ghana. I think in somewhere in Africa, Liberia, like Sierra Leone. But the point is, like most of the people right now, like they have like egoistic, selfishness, like they don't wanna, they don't wanna, like, and also arrogancy, like they want to be rich, to be arrogant for the people, and this is not right. This is not what we want to, like the people, like they should know, they should understand, like we're gonna die one day, like we're gonna die. We're gonna die in a few seconds, or maybe one day, or maybe later, or whatever, in 2, 3 years, whatever, 30 years, we're gonna die. And there is another generation that's gonna come back after us. So, this generation, if we are not doing the right thing from now on, they're gonna do the wrong thing later. You know what I'm saying?
And the more that we look at how this technology and the media and all of this appetite, the kids call it thirsty. They're thirsty. They're thirsty for this. They're thirsty for everything but knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. They're thirsty for worldly things, And I agree with you, because it's not healthy. It's completely opposed to everything that's in Quran about those. Allah hates those who are arrogant. Allah is not kind to those who are not kind to others. No one is paying attention to the humanity that's talking. Okay, I heard one brother say that the only real thing that an African people bring in the 21st century that's admirable is humanity, but our enemies use it against us. Okay, so for you to actually look at a homeless person and say, I mean, even mom and dad, man, I told my brother, homeless person home, and they didn't have a place to stay, but they were working on a place to stay, and they said they'd be okay in a few days. And I had this big 3-4 bedroom house, and I brought them home, and I'm telling my dad, man, why would you bring them to your house? Why would you do this? Why you're not rich, you're not well compared to a person who's living on the street. What they got to do with helping another human being?
So the action from this, it means like you have to act. For example, if you find like anybody, doing the wrong thing, you have to tell him. You don't need your hand, you don't need to shout, you don't need to do like to insult anybody. Just act.
Be an example.
Be an example. Just act very politely.
Thank you.
And like if he doesn't listen to you one time, maybe second time you're gonna listen, maybe third time, don't give up. Like acting, and don't give up, advising the people to be a nice people.
The advice that comes, the wisdom that's in the Holy Quran is so simple. Yeah. It's so simple. Good deeds, charity, and prayer. How can you lose with that formula? That's a formula. Prayer, good deeds, and charity. That corrects whatever society's trying to mess up inside of you. It kind of like snaps it back to grid, makes you human again.
Yeah.
And we really, we've been blessed with people who seem like they were divine, but for us to just be human in this day and time is like divine.
We don't need to be divine, but we need to be nice to other people.
Well, yes,
that's first, we need to be, very, not very, we don't need to be very, just be in the, in the middle way, just to be nice, just to be polite, just to respect the old people, be kind to the poor people, be kind to the youngest people, this is the way.
Okay.
And
so,
yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, and like if we're gonna do this, I think step by step, like in Japanese they said hodo hodo, we're gonna be, like in a positive way. Until
Oh, by the way,
until now, we are in the negative, street.
Yeah. By the way, for those who don't know, we're in Japan right now. We're in Japan. We're in Kyushu, Japan, and as you say, hodo hodo, but actually it's ippo ippo. Skotitsu. Yeah, but before we leave, you said there are some things that you can't even talk about in Egypt. Can you touch on a little bit of that?
Yeah, like for example, in Egypt, until now, after the uprising happened there, like what we want, like there is in Egypt, there is no freedom to talk. So like sometimes like the law in Egypt is like absolutely like I don't understand it right now. Even I'm away from Egypt for a long time. But for example,
how long?
Where?
5 years, 6 years. How long away from Egypt?
No, last time I've been there, it was like 3 years ago, and so I found like for example, don't say these things because they don't like it. Don't say things because it means like you insult. I don't insult anybody. I give an opinion. Nobody can touch you. Like if you said your opinion, but for example, they are right in some way because like if like you give the opinion for everybody gonna like what we need in Egypt, like is to focus behind the right things, and the right things is I think is like the word of Allah, the word of Quran, and the Sunnah of Sayyidina Muhammad. If we're gonna do this, I think everything will be okay. But people are away until they are away from this. Nobody gonna survive. Nobody gonna have a good life. And in Quran, it said a word, danka. Danka, it's a very not the dunk of the basketball in Japan.
Danka Shane.
Danka. It's in like even if you have money, even if you have children, if you have a house, it means like your life you are not going to be happy. Sometimes you feel it. You have money, you have your children, you have everything is okay, but you are not satisfied. Something disturbs you.
Yes.
Now I think this is the time. Not only in Egypt, like it's in everywhere. In America,
it's clear.
And also I'm going to tell you something. America is the same thing. I think like if you talk against anybody. This is right in somehow, and this is wrong in somehow. Because nowadays, like the media is open for everybody.
Nowadays, either you're a patriot or you're not.
You're not. The media is open for everybody. Everybody talks nothing. They give nothing.
Yeah.
Like, for example, a very, very famous guy in the States, I think is Donald Trump. Like, this guy is supposed, like, to be one of the, richest people in the world, that's what I heard. And he's supposed
he's
like
a real estate developer.
Yeah, real estate developer. Okay.
Yeah.
He's supposed like he's like like those people they should understand like their tongue. They can make a clean state or they can make a dirty state. From his tongue, he said like we hate Muslims. That means like all Americans they said this no. This is it's only his opinion. Yeah. But this guy, once he said this...
Now everybody jumping on the bandwagon.
Yeah, so once he said this, it's like absolutely, like, this guy is like out of control.
Yeah.
So he should not... This also, like once it's happened that... Like, what I want to say, that not everybody gonna talk in the media. If you want to talk in the media, you have to be careful what you are talking about. You have to be careful from one word. Maybe it gonna, like, one word gonna destroy the human being. One word gonna
build the human being.
then we're gonna build the human being.
Right. Can build you.
Yeah.
You have to be careful what you say. It's
Yeah.
true.
You know, like so.
Okay, Trump's a land developer, real estate owner. Of course, you know they really depend on interest rates, property taxes. So every
before because I don't want to forget, you know. You know, like in Egypt, I used to study, you know, like economics and accounting in Egypt, you know, like, and my study was in English actually. Most of my books from the States. So I heard, like, I don't remember the name of the professor, that if you want to make a strong economy, the interest should be zero.
Exactly.
The interest should be zero.
Exactly.
So once we're talking about this, you know, like we're gonna think like we became slaves. You know, like the bank, you know, like give you, you know, like lend you, you know, like for example, 20 grand or whatever, you know. But at the end, you find yourself paying back, you know, like about 30
for
grand.
the next 20 years.
Yeah, 30 grand. You know,
that's not how it's done.
And people say, okay, because the time change. Time change for what? Time change for nothing. Why now everything become very, very expensive? Because of those things. Nothing gonna be expensive if we're gonna move like normally. But there is interest. The interest become expensive. Also, you know, for example, if you buy tomato 20 years ago, it's gonna be 100 yen. You know, and then you buy after 20 years, it's supposed to be 100 yen. What is the difference? I don't know. Why now become 200? Because the interest now is 200.
Yeah.
You know,
so everything that doesn't really follow Sunnah, Hadith, Quran, is actually going in the opposite direction that man really needs to go in. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, you know, like one day, you know, like we hope one day, you know, like we're gonna explain it, you know, each topic, you know, like
little by little,
you know, like, so I hope also people will understand and will, you know, maybe they will, you know, like get advantage for what we are talking about today, and you know, like all what we want to say that, you know, like we need to solve or to make a solution for every topic step by step.
This is true. Yeah. Okay, so listen, we're going to shoot this with the cameraman next time. Okay. So we won't have to sit here in front of one camera, the screen over here, and the backdrop over there, and hopefully we'll be able to cover these topics. Once we look at our presence, I'll make it a YouTube for you. We'll just look at it and see how we roll.
Okay, thank you, my friend.
Man, thank you.
Thank you.
My brother here from Egypt.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm Jamaican American from out of Chicago and living in Japan. We're both living in Japan right now. He's doing his business. I'm handling mine. And we're welcome. We're blessed to be able to be together and actually discuss some of the things that are occurring for the 21st century in Africa and in America. What serious solutions might be available to us. All right, on that note, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, have a blessed day.
Thank you. Ciao.